Hello everyone, I'm Camille. Welcome back to Yabacon TV. Today we're joined by two special guests, Tunde and Boluwatife. Together they're the Dropp duo. So Tunde and Boluwatife, welcome to the show. For our viewers who are unaware, can you please tell them what Dropp is?
So basically, Drop connects you to a personal shopper to shop and deliver groceries same day. So when you think about Uber, so this is sort of like Uber for groceries.
Okay.
And what that means is we have people we call personal shoppers that make side gig and money, just shopping for people who don't love shopping, basically.
All right, that's
our overwhelming vision is to make convenience very accessible for everyone in Africa.
Okay, so basically it makes the customer's life easier by giving them a personal shopper who gets them their groceries as fast as possible.
As fast as possible. I mean, we have different packages. I mean, where you can decide to go for a same-day delivery.
Okay.
That you look at the schedule on our platform and you go for the one that works for you.
Okay.
Or you can decide to get it as quickly as possible, say under 1 hour, for example. So that comes with an extra cost.
Okay. So it's basically based on the customer's needs and how quickly they want it. They can choose.
Exactly.
That sounds good. What was the inspiration for it?
So I think sometimes in 2020, while I was working from home, I discovered that there is exactly no platform doing that. And I think I eventually saw one, right? But the experience wasn't great.
Okay.
And I discovered that it was the same for some of my friends as well. And beyond that, people also don't want their groceries or home essentials delivered alone. They want to be involved in the experience. So we decided to bring in that personal shopping experience into the flow, right?
Sounds good. According to the Dropp website, it is only available in Marina and Lekki. So if you live on the mainland or anywhere else, that's tough. They just don't like you as much. I'm joking. They love you. So, they have plans for expansion, and they're going to talk about that now.
So as a startup, right? You have to pilot and test.
Okay.
For the best experience. So right now we are only in the pilot stage. We're only in Lekki and Marina, and the plan is for us to test and learn, and then scale to every part of Lagos. Our expansion plan, really in the long term, is to scale to major cities in Nigeria and eventually in Africa.
That sounds good. So mainland, everyone else, don't worry, it's coming soon.
Exactly.
All right. So according to one happy customer, because I've read the reviews, they really praised the delivery time and how quickly they were able to get it. How do you ensure that customer satisfaction stays that high, especially with factors you can't control, like traffic in Lagos, which is a huge thing, and of course the weather? So how do you?
So the first, our model is hyperlocal, which means that we're shopping from the nearest store to you, right? So that distance first is quite short. Right? That's one. Then two is beyond the personal shoppers who are like you that can join the platform to shop for others. We have the Dropp personal shoppers too that handle quick deliveries, right? And that's why it's more expensive, because we pay them per day, right? Which is quite different from you as a personal shopper that will pay based on your, the number of deliveries you're able to do.
Okay.
So with the hyperlocal system, we're able to deliver as quickly as possible. That's one. The second thing is we also have some logistics systems. We have delivery bikes that drop as quickly as possible, so especially for the fast deliveries. So with that, we can bypass traffic, obviously.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So Lagos is an extremely fast-paced city. I mean, we're currently on the island, and food is a huge part of our culture in Lagos. You cannot drive 5 minutes on the island without seeing a restaurant that is selling you food or a place to get food. That's why even the big players like Konga, Bolt, Jumia, they're rushing into the food delivery niche. So how does Dropp A intend to keep up with all the demand that's coming in, and B intend to compete with the big name players that are already in this niche?
So first is we don't deliver foods for now.
Okay.
Right.
It's just groceries.
Just groceries for now. Although the idea is for us to be able to deliver anything. to your doorstep. As we usually say, we are in the business of delivering happiness, basically. And we believe that food makes people happy.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
It's a thing we're looking to go into, but then we want to make sure that we figured out the grocery business.
Okay. First. You don't really have competitors in the grocery niche?
Yeah, we do have some.
Okay.
Right? But none is giving that personal shopping experience. Right?
Okay. Okay. Good.
Right.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Moving on, this question is going to be directed to Boluwatife. Okay. Are there any challenges you faced in the customer satisfaction and safety standpoint? For example, how do you screen the droppers? How do you make sure the customer safety is looked after? And what is the process like?
Okay, so during our pilots, we delivered like over 1 million worth of groceries, and so far from our customers, we've had like 100% customer satisfaction in terms of the qualities of groceries being delivered to your doorstep.
That's a flex.
So what we do is we try as much as possible to train our own people who are the personal droppers. So we run through some form of training before you come on board, like as a dropper. So you have some form of training, from 2 to 3 days, where you go through the whole shopping experience and have like an idea of what shopping is. You know, shopping is an experience, and there are people who do this full time. So as much as possible, we want to take you through the entire experience of shopping and making sure groceries get delivered so people have the best quality. So droppers who come on board just go through like a training, and get onboarded full time and become droppers, and they can start delivering groceries to people's doorstep. So far so good. We've not had any complaint in terms of bad quality of groceries, because we really focus on the customer experience side of things, and we really want this to be like at 100%. Of course, there'll be here and there, but we're trying as much as possible to be human about it. Get to talk to our customers if there's going to be any delay or stuff, and we have like an awesome customer support system that you can reach back to, and we'll definitely answer you.
Sounds good. So a lot of due diligence is done beforehand to ensure things like safety and quality of groceries are taken care of beforehand. As he mentioned, there's a lot of training that goes on before droppers get out there, and I think that's great.
In addition to that, we also do the verification, right? Where you have your ID, right, and we verify you, right? To make sure that you don't have bad records in the past, and then there's a way to track you as a personal shopper when things go south and stuff.
All right. Sounds good.
And also, just to add to what Tunde said, because we don't own these groceries, so as much as possible, what we're focused on is the delivery part. So if groceries get like bad, it's definitely from like the distributors or
of course.
But we make sure that the personal shoppers look at the expiry date of the product, and that's what makes us different. I mean, we check all of these things in total.
All right, it sounds great. So Tunde, in the fundraising aspect of things, do you have any issues? Because I know a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with this. They might have a great idea or a great business, but struggle to get funds for that. Are there any challenges you faced, and are there any tips you could give to someone looking to raise funds?
Yeah, I mean, fundraising is a big deal, like a really big deal, right? And right now, it's also a challenge for us, right? Till date, we've been bootstrapping, right? Although we've been able to raise some family and friends, right? Small checks here and there. And then we've also, we've had some people committed, right? Say, okay, we're interested in this and stuff, right? But for us, I think my advice to entrepreneurs out there is really build something people want, and to speak for itself, right? And I'll give an example. Lately, we've been seeing a lot of traction, and we've been speaking about it, and we've been seeing some people reach out to us that they are interested in the business, right?
Okay.
As against when we started, and we went all out there trying to raise some funds, and we didn't have so much to show for it, right? And it also, I think, because fundraising is a big deal, it can take your time, right? And you may lose focus on building the product that you are supposed to build. My advice is, when you start a product, if it's possible, try to bootstrap, I'll just try to get some funds from family and friends.
Okay.
To show the MVP, right, and also to get some traction.
Okay.
And that would be fundraising would be much easier at that point, right?
All right. So basically, entrepreneurs should focus on creating value first and foremost, creating what people want, and then they can start from family and friends because that's what's around them.
The interesting thing is we have a customer who's interested in funding the business.
Wow.
Right. So which means that if your product is valuable enough, everybody wants a share of Apple. Like
True.
You want a share of
True.
Apple. Right?
Please, I'll take it if you're giving me.
If you have some money now, you want to buy
definitely
stuff in Apple, but an Apple didn't reach out to you, so it's because of the value and what you see in the business, right?
Yeah.
So it won't be easy, but then I think that's a smarter route.
Sounds good. All right, so moving on, did you have any mentors in this niche? And this goes for both of you. Anybody you look up to, and what makes them great?
Personally, I'm not a big fan of mentors.
Okay.
I think I do more role models.
Role models. All right, let me rephrase that then. Role models.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, of course.
I've read a lot. In fact, in my life, if you get to my house, there's a big picture of Steve Jobs.
Okay.
And the reason why I like Steve Jobs is, first, I'm from a design background.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love the fact that he is design-led.
Mm.
And when you're design-led, you are more obsessed with problem solving, right? You are more empathetic with your design solutions, right? I love that. And the fact that it's also disruptive, like the fact that he goes out there to go against the norm, right? Even when people don't believe this is possible, he believes that. So I admire that so much about him. And I feel like, as I always tell my team and even Bolu, that we are building, in a sense, the Apple in the grocery industry. So look at everything you see in Apple, right? The excellence, the traction, all of those values. Imagine you can bring that into another industry and disrupt that industry, right? So yeah, again, to your question, Steve Jobs.
All right. How about you?
I think I love to have a different route towards role models, and I spoke to Tunde about this. I think I love the concept of anti-models. So people who you don't want to
Okay.
you don't want to be like.
Okay.
So obviously, definitely you have people that you never really want to be like this is going to be the nearest future. And I think it's a stronger motivation. Than models, because that's them. That's them. You can never be Steve Jobs. You can only be you. You can only be Tunde. You can only be Bolu. So, but despite that, I also have cool people that I really like their way about them. Ogunkule is an author, a writer, a behavioral psychologist, a social psychologist, and he's the author of Outliers, Tipping Points. And I love social psychology. How things that don't matter make a big difference in
True.
I think Ogunkule. Then in business, of course, big fan of Jobs, always.
Yeah, of course. Right. That's a very interesting take, by the way. Anti-models. Basically, instead of trying to figure out what to do or who to like or who to be like, you're trying to figure out who not to be like, what not to do, which is an interesting take that I think I like a lot. All right, so moving on. We know that you studied medicine and surgery. So how do you go from that to tech? What?
So basically, I never from the background I came from, and my mom's a business person, so I've been somehow I've been a delivery boy since day one.
Okay.
It's funny, I'm building Dropp with my friend. Medicine for me was just about my personality. I care for people. I feel I should do something that was really good at biology and physics and life sciences. So I opted for medicine because that's what. And then in Nigeria, the job security.
Of course.
So I got into med school and I figured out it's not really what I really wanted to do. I feel like medicine doesn't give me this level of skill I want in terms of impact. So as a doctor, I only just get to interact with patients, one patient, multiple patients. So I was just thinking, how can I get my like impact level of skill out there? And luckily, I got to meet a friend in med school who introduced me to like some books, introduced me to the author I mentioned, and some other awesome writers, and I started reading about my view about the world changed, and I just felt like, oh, we could do more. Then we started like a low-key entrepreneurship group there in med school, and that's where it started from. Then it became like an obsession. I've always loved technology, how to impact the world and stuff, but I never really thought it was something I was going to do. But until life hits you and you feel like, okay, you could do more. So that's my transition from. So it was even in med school I started my first business, my first startup.
Wow.
Stuff. So basically, that's how I came into tech. Now, pop-up products person, I'm leading Instacart for Africa. It's Tunde and some awesome.
What a journey, man. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so Tunde, you're an OAU alumni, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so OAU, I've noticed this trend, is able to produce like excellent tech inclined people year on year. Is that your water there is different? So you guys are eating so how are you able to keep up this trend? How do you think?
So let me tell you my first experience in OAU.
Okay.
I remember 100 level. I think I went to write posthumous, right, or something. So when I entered OAU, I don't know if you've been to OAU before.
No, never.
Oh, you've not been to OAU. I think you should find time to go to OAU.
Okay.
Very nice structures. So when I entered, I saw the biggest building I've ever seen in my life, like in a school. So that gave me a feeling, and the feeling was humility, because when you're coming from secondary school and you're like the best student and stuff, and you're like in another environment and you see thousands of students, big structures, and you're like small.
Yeah.
It reduces and it brings you it makes you focus on yourself, right? And I mean the activities, the fact that you have to go through several struggles. I don't know if you know that OAU is like that, strike and stuff. You just have to think outside of the box. And the fact that a lot of students doing amazingly well, and you are challenged by that. So I feel like that's one thing in OAU, the fact that you see a lot of people doing so well, and they are sort of like an inspiration to you, even to do better. And I think there's an OAU spirit. I don't know how to define it.
Okay.
Maybe if you want to do your master's, when you go to AU, maybe that spirit will come upon you.
Okay.
But there's an OAU spirit that I cannot explain that also comes. And I think it's the same for some schools as well. But there's something about AU that challenges you. Right? Yeah.
Can you give me a list of like 3 things you like the most about OAU?
Okay, the first thing is, I studied architecture. I love the structures.
Okay.
That's one thing. I love the structures.
What's the name of your favorite building?
Amphitheater.
Amphitheater. OAU people, amphitheater. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah. So first the structure.
Yeah.
I think the second thing is the Aluta spirit. The fact that you always want to fight for your rights.
Of course.
You know what is right for you and you want to go for it. That may not mean that you become violent in life.
Yeah.
But it gives you, maybe that's part of the OAU spirit I was talking about. It gives you that spirit of going for the right thing, right? Even in life, and following your passion, not giving up and stuff like that. So that's the second thing I like about OAU. I think the third thing is the fact that OAU is just a big school. I don't know how to explain it. Right? You are not, if you are like, you are not a local champion. Okay. Like, it's a conglomerate of different people from different parts of the world. In my class, we had people from outside the country. We had people from different parts of the country. Like, this is just the reality of life. It's just like a small world. And it's just like a pilot of life. Like you're piloting how life will be. Like everything is just happening around you. And if you're able to go through that struggle, you'll probably do well outside of where you are. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. One more thing, speaking of, we know that you're interested in smart cities. So can you tell us a little bit more about that project?
Yeah.
And what it's like?
Right. So again, I'm a big fan of comfort.
Okay.
again, coming back to Dropp is about comfort, right? So while I was in school, I worked on a project, a smart building project. And it was based on first a sustainable building.
Okay.
A building that that cleans. Okay. So it has different features. So one is that we have a lot of automations indoor. Imagine you could just speak, and your window could open. Imagine the humidity of this place can be automatic, and if this place is too hot, automatically adjusts itself. Or if it is too cold, just puts on the heater or something, and then you begin to. So I believe that that's the future of technology.
Of course,
a technology that necessarily don't have to be controlled by humans, but they are self-intelligent and they can do stuff by themselves. I was having a conversation with someone last week, and I was saying that in the next 50 years, our children will be amazed that there's something we call a car and we are driving it.
Yeah.
They'll be like, you are doing the work. Like, why is it a car if you cannot drive itself? So I feel like the future of technology is comfort and convenience. And that was why I decided to work on the smart city and the smart building project when I was in school. And I was doing my master's.
All right. Can we expect Dropp's next HQ to be fully automated?
Exactly. Dropp is about comfort.
Yeah.
Any type of comfort, like comfort and happiness.
All right, sounds good. It's been a pleasure speaking to you today, Boluwatife, as well. Thank you so much for coming on. You can find the links to Dropp in the description. Currently, if you're on Marina and Lekki, please download it. And if you're watching later in the future, it most likely could have expanded, so check it out. Thank you. Goodbye.
All right.